Who's there? Where's Papa? Pablo? Why are you here? I got curious. I couldn't find you anywhere. Silver, continue investigating. I will keep Pablo outside. Sure. Chalupnik opens the bathroom door and leaves. I stare at Skoda. Who killed you? Not that you'll answer, right? I'm just trying my luck in case you became a ghost and want to answer me by possessing yourself. You look like someone who would become a ghost, though. It's always the people who have tons of ego. You're one of them for sure. Don't be shy. Let's say you took too many sedatives, lost your balance while you were bathing, hit your nose on the tub, and then somehow you magically flew into the tub as if you were bathing again, in this exact position. Though, I don't think that's the case. There are 100 possibilities, actually. Is it possible to reach a conclusion with my current knowledge? Looks like you created another job for us, Ivan. I never liked you, you know? You were the epitome of unlikability, and... Miss Silver, what are you doing? Cooper! How come I didn't hear you coming in? He looks nervous. Did you finish examining the body? Yes. I was never good at dealing with people's emotional states. I should continue investigating instead of talking to Cooper about it. I stand up and get out of Skoda's bathroom. Why are you here, Cooper? I thought I shouldn't leave you alone. I was doing fine. Excuse me for saying this, but if I observed correctly, you were talking to Mr. Skoda's body. Anyway, we should be searching the room for clues. Cooper doesn't respond to my attempt of changing the subject. We should, though. I wanna know more about this crack in the door. Door. There's a dent on the door. Something must have hit this for this to happen. I will keep this in mind. His clothes are folded and placed on the bed. Did he fold his clothes before entering the tub? I inspect each one of them to see if there's something wrong. Miss Silver, I think we shouldn't do that. Why? Doesn't that count as disrespecting the dead? What would Cooper think if he learned that I played with Skoda's nose? It would be more disrespectful if we couldn't find this killer. Cooper. Yes? His trench coat is wet. Does that mean anything? I take the wet cigarettes and lighters out of the coat pockets. The wet cigarettes are so softy mentholinas, as I thought. I guess he won't be using the lighter anymore. I put it into my pockets. Lighter? Z's. It's just a picture, a drawing of the lighter. I do like that, though. I like that we get those small drawings every now and then. Miss Silver, did you find an evidence? Yes. There are room keys in his pockets. What about the lighter? Is that a piece of evidence? No. Then why did you take it, Miss Silver? It's a good lighter. Miss Silver, please put it back. Please. Lighter thrown away. Alright. We can't check the balcony. I feel like that would be a thing that we should check. There isn't anything notable on the desk. Is that a notebook? I see Skoda's notebook hidden behind the desk. It's an amateur move to hide his important files in here, though at least it would throw off the mundane people. I take it out. I can see some notes and documents folded inside. I open the cover. I notice that he has used the notebook as a diary, too. He has written a few entries using this as a diary. We shouldn't look at it then. It may be private. He isn't here to judge us. Miss Silver, do you know what you're saying? It may contain some piece of evidence. Besides, he read our mail. No secrets between the Bureau workers, right? No man becomes a saint just by dying, Cooper. I know. I know. As far as I've noticed, Chalupnik opens his safe every Monday morning to check if the spare keys are in place. I told Willem to find the password to the safe and take the key. If possible, he will put the key back in the safe every Saturday night. Chalupnik trusts Willem since he's been working here for years. Willem is the one staying at the receptionist's counter every Saturday. It must be easy for him to do that. What day is it today, Cooper? Wednesday, Miss Silver. Updates. He yelled at me when I told him this. I'll lose all the trust that Mr. Chalupnik invests in me, he said. There is no way of that happening if you don't get caught. Do you want your cousin to die? I replied. He obeyed, reluctantly. It is unbelievable how stupid he is. That's horrible. I shrug. That's Skoda. Mr. Willem shouldn't know about this. Miss Silver, I still think we shouldn't read Skoda's diary any longer. No, come on. I want to read it. There could be super valuable information in there. I can't sleep tonight, too. Can't really find what keeps me awake at night either. Somehow, everything bothers me. People usually say that writing down the worries would help, though I doubt it. I doubt everything. Maybe that's the reason I'm unable to sleep. Or maybe I can't sleep because they took my gun. Chalupnik says that I should get some remedy for it, though my only option looks like it'll put me in deep sleep. It doesn't relax me to know that I won't be able to wake up in a crisis. It must be nice to sleep without the fear that someone might be trying to kill you any second. See, this is valuable information. He was worried about being murdered, which increases the chances of it actually being murder instead of a ghost. So that's why we couldn't find his gun anywhere. This explains a lot. Can we stop reading it? No. Now that I've read about Karat's letter to Silver, I am even more sure that something suspicious is going on. She doesn't use a language like that to any one of us, nor share information. She even forgot Cooper's name. Maybe the reason why Silver got assigned here was because she had a friend in the back, or in this case, Bureau. It is not good to see cases like this, especially in the time of massive unemployment. There's barely any budget to operate a Supernaturals Bureau, and spending the money for useless international jobs like this doesn't make any sense. Deja also mentioned that she doesn't trust Karat or Silver. I believe she's researching something that might be useful for us to use against their odds. Deja? I also have no idea who that is. I see. I think we've seen enough of his diary already, Miss Silver. No, we're only just getting to the good stuff here. Come on, this will help us out a bunch. Ooh. There's a picture here. Oh, there's Miss Carrant, Mr. Skoda, and Mr. Renault. I believe that person here is Stacia, since Skoda mentioned a she. It's a lovely picture. Looks like it was taken before I started working at the Bureau. Telegram? It's the telegram that Karat sent him. Is it the one that is informing about us coming here? Yeah, it says. I look at the telegram, which clearly says Laura Silver and the Ginger Boy. Oh no. Please tell me this is a joke, Miss Silver. Unfortunately, no. There's the official stamp of the Bureau. Poor Cooper! Karat is an airhead. How did she become the leader of this place, I wonder? Notes. There's the same information that Karat wrote, this time in Skoda's handwriting. I assume he made a copy when he read Karat's mail. The notes below read as, tell Willem about Vodnik. Don't forget to reply to Deja's letter. Someone knocks on the door. Silver, Cooper, are you done yet? It is Chalupnik's voice. I open the door. Have you found anything? Not yet, Mr. Chalupnik. May I ask you for a favor first? What is it, Silver? Would you gather everyone in the hotel in the lobby? I see. The culprit must be one of us, after all. I wonder if I can make Mr. Chalupnik believe in the existence of a supernatural being. I'll be searching the backyard for a while. I will join you after that. Chalupnik raises an eyebrow. How can we be sure that you won't run away? If you're the culprit, it'll be easy for you to leave the crime scene. I will leave Cooper here. What? Miss Silver, I'm not something that you can just leave behind. If I went away, you can reach me through Cooper. We work at the same bureau. Besides, he has the car keys. Well, fair enough. Miss Silver, I'll be back soon, Cooper. I went down the stairs. The water was supposed to be cut off. Then how did the culprit fill Skoda's bathtub? I mean, there is a teeny tiny chance that the bathtub was already filled up when he shut off the water. The water was shut off after 2 AM. It's not entirely unlikely that the bathtub was filled up before that. Someone must have entered the boiler room to open the valves, then must have closed them back again after killing Skoda. What were you just talking about with the giraffe versus horse? Sure, someone could have done that. It is more likely that the bathtub was already filled up when you shut off the water. Mr. Chalupnik must have seen the person entering the boiler room if he has been at the reception all night, like he says. But he never mentioned seeing Cooper entering the boiler room at all, did he? He didn't mention hearing anything either. Is it true that he has hearing problems because of his days at war? But he must be able to see. Unless... I look around for the metal door that leads to the boiler room. I stand near the door and look at the reception desk. I can't see it properly. The wall is blocking my sight. Now I understand why Chalupnik hasn't seen the culprit enter the boiler room. It is on his blind spot. I push the iron door, but it doesn't budge. Is it locked? I press my ear against the door. I hear faint sounds of splashing. Does it mean that the boiler room is flooded? If the boiler room is flooded, it means that the clues are lost. Was the Vodnik the one who murdered Skoda? We closed the valves to prevent his access to the hotel, but... he might have exploded the pipes while coming here. That would explain why the boiler room is underwater. And if he damaged the pipes, it would explain why the water is still off. I push the door again. It won't budge. Have you tried pulling it? I'll need to ask Chalupnik to open the door. I give up on the water tank for now and go to the backyard. I need to find that pot. There is something suspicious about how it disappeared. Ah, here's our pot. Shattered. Just like me. I crouch to take a closer look. Though, even if this confirms that the pot certainly did fall down, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Only a heavy storm could have caused this pot to fall down, and there wasn't one last night. Interesting. I should see if there's any clues in the backyard. Wait. Is that a child on the ground? That isn't a comfortable place to sit. Is he sleeping? There's no way he jumped down from Skoda's balcony to here after killing him, right? As far as I remember, the Vodnik can't shapeshift, so at least it eliminates the possibility of him being the Vodnik. I won't assume little children are culprits as long as they don't behave suspiciously. I crouch next to the child. Hey. No reply. He's well dressed. Looks like he's from a rich family. Hey? No response. I hold his shoulder and shake him. He can't be dead, right? Did Vodnik kill a child too? I close my hand over his nose and mouth. I can't sense any breathing. He opens his eyes. What are you doing? Why are you here? You answer my question first. I was checking if you were alive. Well, as you can see, if a person opens their eyes, it's sort of obvious that they are alive. Yes. Yes? Is that it? Why are you here? First, you must ask who I am, commoner. Then we can talk. Commoner. Who are you? I'm Uri von Geldern. I am Uri von Geldern. I would say that it's nice to meet you, but you haven't told me your name yet. I'm Laura Silver. That's cool. What is your name? I bet my hair color was being checked out. You also have golden hair, don't you? Like your surname. He stops and looks down. Am I wrong? It isn't gold, he mutters. This is just another tone of yellow. That's not something to be down about, is it? Anyway, I'm gonna call you Silver. Sure. I'll be calling you Uri, if that's okay with you. Even though being called as casually as that is a bit infuriating, I guess being friends with an inferior or wouldn't hurt my pride. I sigh. Why aren't you getting up, Uri? None of your business, Silver. A peasant like you should know when to leave the king alone. Isn't your family worried about you? He stares down again. I guess he's like me. Get up, Uri. You could get some rest in the hotel. I'm not a child. What are you? The King of Hanover. Hanover. Then what are you doing in Czechoslovakia? I hear sounds coming from the right. Is there something in the bushes? Silver, pick me up. Huh? Hurry up, it's coming! What? I'll explain later. Let's just get out of here. I hear another rustle. I guess I should pick the kid up and rush inside. Am I curious about what's in there? Of course I am. But I can't investigate now. Not when there's a kid with me. I'm a responsible adult. Will you hurry up? I pick Yuri up and start jogging back to the hotel. Are you alright, Yuri? Yes. Did that thing hurt you? Go faster, Silver! Do I look like a horse to you? Ugh. Even though Yuri had multiple layers of clothing on him, his wrists were freezing. How long has he been sitting out there? I'll have to ask you a lot of questions. Okay. Everyone is gathered in the lobby except for Mr. Chalupnik. I see Willem is sitting on a couch, staring at the void. Mr. Chalupnik didn't see anyone enter the hotel last night. So that leaves Miss Blanca, Miss Willem, and Mr. Chalupnik, Miss Silver, and myself. This means we have 5 suspects. Make that 6. Excuse me? The child in my arms starts to struggle in panic. What kind of a treacherous ambush is this? I'm joking, Yuri. Calm down. I put Yuri on the ground. He balances himself on his feet. He looks like he's having a hard time doing that, still grasping onto my arm. Is there a problem with his legs? You're not funny. Miss Silver, who is that child? I'm Uri von Geldern. I thought you weren't a child. I found him sleeping in the backyard. I wasn't sleeping, I was exploring. Right. What an adorable young boy. I might be cute, but I'm pretty dangerous. Oh my. Where's Mr. Chalupnik? He told us that he would like to spend some time with Pavla before coming down here. I see. So, while we're waiting for Mr. Chalupnik to come, I crouch down to look Yuri in the eye. Okay, important questions first. Are you wounded? Did you get hurt somewhere? Not a scratch. What happened to your legs? Can you walk? I can walk. I'm not in the mood for it yet. Yuri, look. I'm looking. If you don't cooperate, we can't help you. I don't want your help. Okay, who were you running away from? Who was following you, Yuri? No one important. Was he being followed by someone, Miss Silver? I heard a rustling in the bushes. I presume he was. Yuri isn't making any eye contact with me. What a stubborn child. So, you mentioned that you were a king. I am the King of Hanover, Yuri von Geldern. I hear Miss Rubalova giggle. Okay, we need to take him seriously. I think that's the only way we can possibly get any answers out of him. What kind of business are you dealing with here, Your Majesty? None of your business, peasant. Young lad, where is your home? What did you say? I simply asked where. I'm not some young lad. Cooper gasps. Also, I already stated that I'm from Hanover. Okay, and what is the King of Hanover doing here? A commoner like you shouldn't meddle in royal business, Silver. Know your place. Fine. How did you come here? By myself. Huh? I'm capable of doing things like that. I'd rather solve a murder case while juggling knives than deal with this child right now. I stand up. Cooper, do you know who is the current King of Hanover? Hanover doesn't have a king. What? What's wrong, Miss Silver? What happened to the Kingdom of Hanover? It is currently part of the Germans, as far as I know. It looks like I'll have to do some reading on history. Anyway, where is Mr. Chalupnik? We shouldn't lose any time. Before that, Miss Silver? Yes, Miss Rubalova. Are you aware that Mr. Chalupnik doesn't believe in the supernatural? I am. So, without a doubt, he thinks that someone in this hotel has done it. What did you say? I can see that, yes. Do you also think that it's one of us, Miss Silver? I don't know yet. We have to hold a meeting. We also have to look at the Vodnik's toy shop. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Yuri squeezes my arm. I agree, but... Miss Silver, we all know the water was cut off. The fact that the bathtub was full is scaring me. The killer might have opened the valves back again, then closed them after killing Skoda, but... What happened here, Silver? Yuri, shush. I just want to know what happened. If you tell us what's been following you, we will. He doesn't reply. Silver, what is the explanation for this? We were waiting for you, Mr. Chalupnik. I can see that. Who is this child? I found him in the backyard. Where is his family? I think he doesn't have one. He might have run away. We must take him back to his home, Silver. What were you thinking when you brought him here? He was running away from something, Mr. Chalupnik. I couldn't leave him defenseless against possible danger. He was running away from what? He hasn't told us yet. And you just picked him up and ran. Circumstances demanded so. We can take care of that after the police arrives. It will be safer for him that way. Alright. Are you talking about me? This man wants to know who you are. I am Yuri von Geldern, the King of Hanover. Chalupnik reaches his hand out for a handshake. Nice to meet you, fellow king. I am also the king of this area, Jindrik Chalupnik. See, he knows how to do it. He has kids. He knows how to talk with children. Yuri shakes his hand. Nice to meet you too. I hope that our countries will be on the peaceful terms in the future. Chalupnik nods. However, I see that you're wearing my daughter's gloves, Your Royal Highness. What? Yuri squeezes my arm harder. I don't want a war to start for a reason like this, but the princess might not be as understanding as I am. Chalupnik looks at me. Silver, you said that you would do your best to deliver my daughter's gloves back to her. Yes? Is it the right time for this? We were just about to start the meeting. Mr. Chalupnik stares at me. I don't think it would be appropriate for a child to be present during this meeting. He can go to Pavla's room, but not when he's wearing her gloves. These are my gloves! I want to start the meeting as soon as possible. I crouch down again. Yuri, let me take a look at your hands. No! Ugh. Cooper, show me your sketch. Right away, Miss Silver. Cooper opened his notebook after a brief pause. This is the drawing that he did of them. We haven't seen the inside of the gloves, but it's identical. Look. So, she might just have a similar pair. These are my gloves, Silver. You can't blame me for something I haven't done. It will be a problem for us if Pavla thinks that Yuri is the thief. After all, Chalupnik's beastly daughter will never forgive him. Be honest with me, Yuri. He pouts. So? Silver, I want to talk to you about this in private. I can't handle being in the same room with so many peasants. You can whisper into my ear. Won't they hear? Not if you speak softly. You bent down. Silver? Yes? Would you help me? How? I'm the one who took them. But I can't give the gloves back. Why? Why can't you give them back? It's about the Vodnik you mentioned. Looks like everyone I meet has something going on with the Vodnik. I wonder if he lives nearby. I can't tell the details just yet. He looks out of the window at the bushes where I met him. Please let me keep the gloves, Silver. If I do that, will you tell me what you know? He nods. And when exactly will you tell me? He raises his voice. You all mentioned a meeting. It must be important. I will wait until it ends. Looks like he's trying to buy some time. As long as he tells me where the Vodnik lives, it's fine by me. I stand up. Mr. Chalupnik, please tell Pavla that I'll buy her another pair of gloves. She'll make a fuss over it. You better buy her better ones now, Silver. I nod, appreciating the fact that he didn't make this a huge deal. Do we start the meeting now? Chalupnik sighs. Young knight. Young king, I can't have you listen to our talks. I am 200 years old. You're like a baby to me. Yuri drops himself on the couch. I know everything the world has to offer. I am more accustomed to death than any of you. He smiles. I won't budge. Chalupnik takes the boy in his arms. What are you doing? Taking you to Pavla. You'll play with her until our job is finished. No, you can't do that. I'll return and listen to you. Then I will take you back to Pavla's room until you learn to sit still. Maybe you'll return her gloves too. These are my gloves. Silver, come here and save me. I watch as he is taken upstairs. What did he tell you, Miss Silver? The kid knows something. How? The one following him might have been Novodnik. He knows where he is. Did he tell you anything? I shake my head. These are just my assumptions. He might have been trying to deceive me too. I don't know just yet. I don't think a child his age is that prone to lying, Miss Silver. He's different. I can sense it. He seemed like a regular child to me. It's true that he's a smart one, though. What kind of difference are you talking about? I don't know. I see Mr. Chalupnik walking down the stairs. We can start the meeting. Finally. Mr. Chalupnik, did you make sure the children won't be interrupting the meeting? Skoda's room is already locked. Other than that, I don't think they will come downstairs. It seems like they were getting along. I doubt it, though. I'm sure Yuri won't be coming downstairs. He has a problem with walking. He won't be using the stairs with ease. I sigh. So, can we start the meeting? Yes, Miss Silver. I cough a few times to get everybody's attention. I believe everybody here knows while we're having this meeting. Most likely, one of us is the culprit. I take a deep breath. I believe Skoda was drowned. However, he also has a nose injury, which could mean that he might have gotten punched in the face before he was drowned. He doesn't have any other visible injuries. I know that the murder happened recently, between 2 AM and 9:30 AM. Who do we think is the most suspicious? I mean, we gotta ask both of them, right? Everyone technically is a suspect. Chalupnik, where were you at 2 AM? I was at the reception desk the whole night. Oh, this is a lot of options. I wonder if we get to ask all of them, or if this is just a choose the right one to learn the right information. Did you notice anything suspicious? Nothing concerning what happened last night, but I had to lock the boiler room's door. Should we press on that? Since that was technically our fault. Ours as in Cooper. I am just so scared that things are gonna go wrong. I don't know how much of an impact these choices have. The boiler room. The water must have started flowing for a brief period in the night, and the pipes couldn't handle the pressure. It is not something that should concern you. It happens frequently in winter. Last year, the lobby flooded several times because of it. It's a good thing we installed the metal door. At least it keeps the water inside. Interesting. When was the last time that you saw Skoda? Last night, when he came to greet you both. Alright, what is your room number, Mr. Chalupnik? I have my own room on the ground floor. So, he stays near the entrance. Who do you think might have done it? I know that neither Vrubelova or Vilem are the kind of people to commit murder. Are you blaming me or Cooper? Cooper looks like a nice fellow too, so you're blaming me. Are you suspicious of me? Chalupnik shrugs. I won't say a thing before we find any evidence. Mr. Chalupnik, I am sure that Miss Silver didn't do it. Why? Did you two spend the night together? No? Then you can't be sure, Cooper. You should choose who to trust wisely. Or be like Chalupnik and just not trust anyone. That works too. Alright. Thank you for your cooperation, I guess. Miss Vrubelova, what were you doing at 2 AM? I was in my room, sleeping. When was the last time that you saw Mr. Skoda? Yesterday afternoon. What was he doing when you saw him? I don't know. I saw him in the lobby and we exchanged greetings. What did you do right after you woke up? Can you tell me what you did right after you woke up? I did my hair and I got dressed. I wanted to wash my face, but there was no water. I thought that there was a problem with the tap on my sink. When I left my room to report this to Mr. Chalupnik, Vilem called me to talk to you. What is your room number? I'm sleeping in one of the rooms on the ground floor, Miss Silver. I believe that they aren't numbered. Okay. When do you wake up? My schedule is kinder when the hotel is off-season. I wake up at 8 AM. I see. Who do you think might have done it? I know everybody in the hotel, Miss Silver, and I know that you are a nice person too. What do you mean? You know what I'm trying to say, Miss Silver. She looks meaningfully at my pocket. I see the notebook is sticking out. So she thinks the vodnik did it. Thanks for your cooperation. Willem, what were you doing at 2 AM? I called Willem's name, but it looks like he didn't hear me. Miss Vrubelova pops in between us. Miss Silver, I think it's obvious that Willem didn't do it. Sending him to his room without making him a part of this investigation would be better. Miss Vrubelova, did you murder Zivan Skoda? Oh no, how could I? Do you think Mr. Chalupnik did it? No. Do you think me or Cooper did it? I think you are both kind people. Kindness does not bring innocence with it. I also assume that you aren't blaming Pavla or Yuri. Of course not. I whisper into her ear. I also think that the vodnik is a culprit. However, we have to evaluate the facts first. I have to check that everybody's accounts are consistent. I just thought that we should leave Willem out of this. I can see why you'd want that, Miss Vrubelova, but there is a chance that he is the murderer. I don't want to ignore that. She nods. I understand, Miss Silver. She steps back, observing us from a distance. Willem. What is it? Willem, what were you doing at 2 AM this morning? 2 AM? I'm pretty sure I was asleep. When was the last time you saw Siva? He stays silent. Do you mean his corpse or alive? Yesterday afternoon. What was he doing when you last saw him? Taking a stroll in the hotel. Okay, did he do that often? Almost every day. It looked like Sivan did nothing else except for occupying space in this hotel. Can you tell me what you did right after you woke up? I went downstairs and I had a talk with Mr. Chalupnik before going to the dining hall. When do you wake up in the mornings? 7. I have to serve breakfast at 8:30 AM. When the hotel isn't off season, I wake up at 6. So, you were in your room between 2 and 7? Yes. Mr. Chalupnik, can you confirm that you've talked to Mr. Willem this morning? I can. We talked about the weather and how we always talk about the weather every morning. Willem smiles. It feels so distant now, like it happened months ago. What do you think about the case? I am not the person you need to ask. Pardon me? I don't want to blame the guest, but I'm almost sure that it was you. And why is that? Isn't it obvious? The man dies the night you come here. He's got a point. I don't have an alibi either. I am the perfect suspect. I also know that you're hiding your real job from us. One would think that you would reveal it to get rid of your suspicions. One would also think that being a detective doesn't get rid of any suspicion. He grimaces. It seems like my snark isn't appreciated. Too bad. So, tell me how I did it. You may have somehow stolen my keys, or picked his lock, or slipped in from the balcony. The balcony. The lock was broken, remember? What was I thinking? I never checked the balcony door. Skoda would have requested a different room if he had noticed the lock on the balcony door was broken. Could it have been that the culprit broke it last night? When was the lock broken? I'm not sure. I never thought of checking it while Zivan was staying here. I see. Tell me more about my balcony break-in. You got in from the balcony, and Zivan was taking a shower at the time, so you entered his bathroom and punched him in the face. Though it would explain what happened to his nose. The water was cut off, so he couldn't have been showering. I guess. And then? Do you think Zivan died from a broken nose? I don't know. Did you strangle him? I may have drowned him too. We found him in a tub. It's sort of obvious. What sort of game is this, Silver? You have a point. Excuse me? You see, I hadn't considered the balcony as an entrance to his room. You're an extraordinary detective, I must say. Entering from the balcony, lockpicking, stealing Willem's keys. Huh? You said that I could have taken your keys. Do you have Skoda's room keys? I gave them to you when you were about to shoot his store, though. It happened a few minutes ago, Silver. Right. You're the only one who has the spare keys, right? Yes. At least, I was supposed to be the only one. That's good to know. What do you mean supposed to be? Does someone else actually have the keys? Now you think I'm the culprit. No, at least not yet. What do you mean? It's still a bit too early to be pointing fingers. He huffs. I need to ask Cooper what he thinks about all of this. Cooper. Yes, Miss Silver. What do you think? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that Mr. Willem is in a healthy state of mind right now. Also, I'm wondering about what Mr. Tulupnik will say about. I wasn't asking about the well-being of the hotel folk. Who do you think killed Skoda? I assume that it's most likely the Vodnik, Miss Silver. How? He may have drowned Skoda in the tub. Oh, is this gonna affect like how the story progresses? I honestly have no clue. I want to be able to say that it is the Vodnik because I want to explore that side of the game. And seeing as how they're actually sent out on like a mission to investigate the Vodnik, we have to consider it a real possibility. And she did whisper to the housekeeper that she thought it was a Vodnik. You know what? I agree. We closed the valves to prevent him from coming here. It seems like our efforts weren't sufficient. I tried checking the boiler room before coming here. Did you find any clues? No, I couldn't even enter it. In fact, it's flooded. The water is blocking the entrance. That means closing the valves doesn't do anything to begin with. The Vodnik could have entered through the hotel just fine. Exactly. So, are we going to assume that the culprit is the Vodnik? Isn't it obvious? Not really. But I respect your decision, Miss Silver. Fine. Then, if the killer is the Vodnik, we should do the explaining to Mr. Tulupnik. Mr. Tulupnik, who does not believe in the supernatural. I say with a raised voice for Mr. Tulupnik to hear. Yes, Silver. And he leaves. We have something to tell you. Have you heard of the Vodnik? He raises an eyebrow. I hope you will not try to convince me that an imaginary monster has something to do with this tragic situation. Mr. Tulupnik, you know that we are shooting a documentary, right? I asked you a question, young man. I will explain, of course. However, let us first inform you that we are actually here to perform an informative sequence about the myth. You came here to film the Vodnik. Exactly, Mr. Tulupnik. Do directors make films about ambiguous supernatural creatures, Silver? They do in England. The documentary you two are filming won't be a reliable source of information, it seems. Our aim is to introduce our homeland, the folklore of the Pilsen. We think that a Vodnik may have killed Mr. Skoda, Mr. Tulupnik. I see. Now we have to deal with a couple of lunatics as well. Mr. Tulupnik, please let us explain. We have received reports on a Vodnik being here. We think that Skoda was targeted because he was also investigating the myth. Mr. Tulupnik, I am sure you have noticed that the water was cut off. It must have been the Vodnik for sure, or else how could someone drown Mr. Skoda? We were the ones who cut the water off, but Tulupnik doesn't know about that. Trying to make him believe that something supernatural is going on is a good idea. Nice one, Cooper. I can't tell if she's being serious or not. You're disrespecting his death, both of you. Skoda wasn't a man who would believe in some fairy tales. I can show you the notes that Skoda took about the Vodnik if you still believe that it's a myth. It doesn't make any sense, Silver. How so? Isn't it obvious? Why would a mythical creature like the Vodnik punch Sivan before killing him? He might have hit his nose on the wall or the tub while trying to fight back. It seems more likely that you're the one who killed him. What? I have no proof of this, but I think you're the one who did it, and now you're blaming it on the vodnik. I have no actual talent in conjuring water and filling tubs with it, Willem. Willem, Mr. Chalupnik. Willem turns his head towards Vrubelova. I know the vodnik. I know that he's a man who's messed up in the head. He might have been the one who caused this. Vrubelova, I never knew you were superstitious. I'm not superstitious, Mr. Chalupnik. I worked as his maid for years before I became a vodnik. So, that was the spooky fellow you mentioned once. What was his name? Emil? Emil Kladivo, yes. How come I've never heard you talking about him? I try to avoid the subject. Can you tell me more about this person? Of course, Miss Silver. Will you tell her the story you told me? Vrubelova nods.